Hello everyone, so we're going to do the reading on Trump and I presume there's going to be several of these readings until we get to November. Now if you've not seen the previous readings where he was convicted, I did a reading, and then there was a reading prior which was actually about something else, but it has Trump's picture and I believe Israel's picture, Julian Assange. Trying to remember what the whole point of that reading was. And then there was, and I might make a political or government folder. And then there was the attempted A recently, and I've done obviously another reading on Biden. There's the global psychic predictions as well, where I've touched base on the US. Now, a couple of things. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. Please use your own fact-finding discernment. And look out for a video where I discuss the membership tiers and Patreon tiers. There will also be in the live tab scheduled a live that was done for Patreons. Not to confuse anything, what I did, because I'm moving everything to a Patreon platform, and I just have, so that will be linked in my bio, and there will be the intro to let you know about the different memberships and Patreon and what would be the difference. Obviously, tier 1, you get a lot for what you pay, because it's more or less to help support the channel, because the way I've been putting out content without anything back from the platform makes it very difficult, time-wise and everything else that I have in terms of my schedule and what I need to do. Whereas if there's some gratitude back to support, it's a monthly tier and it's just very nominal, to be honest with you. I'll discuss the difference between members and Patreon, and then you can select what you feel fits for you if you wish to. You can support the channel by subscribing, you can like, and you can also pay a super thanks for the content or videos that you do like. So do look out for that live, and it's actually one live, but it's split into part 1 and 2, so look out for both. When 2 is available for subscribers, it will be in the video section. So just keep your eyes open for lives and the live tab and the subscribers, in case you don't see it, like if you don't get the notification. I'll also try to drop it in the community post. These readings, I think we're going to do Trump, and then we're going to look at Kamala, and then I'm going to look at them both. But I don't really want to compare so much for a couple of reasons. I also want to do a global psychic predictions, because when I was thinking of that, I was getting downloads, and I think I'm going to try to narrow it down to very broad for any countries that were coming through, but see if, I presume the US is going to lead on this one, because obviously I'll be here all day. And then if you like those, we might do them monthly. We can always chat about on them. So you can see from the live that I did with the Patreons that I have that are mainly clients, so they're not via the social media platforms, what we discuss and what we just hang out and discuss. And you'll see in that I didn't go too deep. We touched base on it, but I said that I would do a read because I did ask, and a subscriber said what read they want, so I wanted to honor that. And I will also do, and the reason I don't want to go into a full prediction in terms of who will win is because I've already said the November date for the election seems a bit wishy-washy. And I also feel that we might have, oh God, let me check this is recording. I can just see some people giggling, yes. We might have like a change, like Kamala. If I say Camilla, I know it's Kamala, but just because we've got Camilla in the UK, we've got a Camilla in the UK. oh, I'll talk about it in my global psychic predictions, but I kind of touched base on it. What's just happened in Southport, I did not, Southport and Merseyside, I did not see, I was either doing the live on the day before the day it was happening, but I actually predicted something in that live of part 1 or 2, where I said we're going to have issues after Leeds riot, and I can just see right now the whole divide, racism and nasty crime and nastiness that's going to come towards innocent people in this. And just to put a, I don't know if to do a separate video on this, but it won't be card pull, it'll just be to try and ground people, because I don't know, it's just going to get nasty, and there's going to be innocent people, whether you're a bit of a different race colour but you've been born and bred in the UK and you know you're a good citizen, and maybe your ethnic background 2 generations before was somewhere else, or I don't know, you're from a different religion. Like, this is going to take, if the person is from a certain religion that's hyped up to be something else, or if the person has a certain name, or if the person's from now if they're an immigrant, they probably, I believe they need to serve their sentence, whether they're a minor or not, and then they need to be deported. So there's a difference between illegal immigrants and immigrants, asylum seekers, and those that might be from different ethnic backgrounds or religions, or you know, not the mainstream. I do believe that the Brits need the voice, so I do believe that that is the case, but I can just see this going in such a horrible direction. Not to overtake this reading, let's get back. So in this reading, I'm going to discuss Trump. Okay, I'm going to try and say the words DT in the readings, because on Patreon it's okay, it doesn't have to be so censored, and that's probably the difference between the members, the videos that I put out for subscribers and anyone who wants to join the channel, members, and then Patreon. So what I did, because I think in the last reading, and I don't know, by the way, did anything come out about Thomas Crooks being the second shooter being there? Can you remember I said there was a second shooter and he would have actually taken off, done some gunshots in a different direction, not towards the ex-president, and also like there was a van there, and they'd be questioning whether it was a bullet that actually skimmed past or hit Trump. Here we go. I can never do what I stick to, DT. So those sort of things, you know, once a reading is done, don't think it's expired, basically. So I'm even saying about the global psychic prediction at the end of last year, and I think the one I did in February, there's things that are coming through still. On the live, what I mentioned, and I think it's going to be important, I mentioned it in the reading as well, that he is on high security. So with DT, I feel like he would have known that he probably would be a target in certain rallies, and he needed to be careful. He's the type of person that he's kind of impulsive. I know, but I'm going to do this anyway. You know what I mean? So I think he needs to be careful from now until the election. And in the election, if he becomes the president, I feel like he still needs to be careful during his presidency, at least for the first 6 months to a year. I also, just in case I forget to predict it somewhere else, and this is where I rely on you guys, is some other high political leader also needs to be careful, all right, from now until about March next year. I feel it's more or less to the 3rd quarter, end of year next year, not like this month. I feel like around August the 4th, DT is gonna feel good in terms of his power, in terms of, do you know when you just feel good in you feel the passion within you, like, you know when you have a crap day, you kind of like your will to go on with your day is killed. No, he's going to have a good, I think he's going to have a good couple of days around the 3rd, 4th and 5th, okay? Kamala as well, but more so, I'd say, what's Trump's ascendant, by the way? But I do feel she's got a good couple of days as well there. I'm not saying it's the only days, no. I actually looked at his, you know, in the last reading I said about his son that also needs protection with his wife. I looked at his son because I don't know whose son is daughter. But I just felt he had like a younger son than like somebody in their late 20s or 30s. So I looked up a picture, and I think it's, if I've got it right, it's Barron Trump, right? His son is a very special soul. So if Trump, if DT ever says, my son is extremely special, like, no, he says it, he's really special, and he emphasizes it with kind of deeper words, or he repeats it 2 or 3 times, understand he also sees what I see in his son. His son is quite spiritual, and he has a deep soul connection, so he could be quite intuitive. Now, I don't know what he's studying, so he could be pushed into law or something, but I don't think it's where he's going to find himself eventually. I believe that he's going to be quite an intuitive soul. So I think is quite a sensitive person. I was just looking at his picture, but that's going to be interesting. So I think, you know, after I did the prediction, people were saying, yes, DT is going to be out, is due to be out at a rally or somewhere. Because I said this is not going to stop him. He is going to continue. I actually was wondering if this attempted A and the whole court thing has actually changed him to be a bit more humble, because I just think he needs to humble that ego a little bit. The thing is, though, as well, I've not watched his speeches. I've not watched much about him. Now, this can be a bit annoying for some of you, but at the same time, it's going to be non-biased. So I've just seen today, as I record this, that a subscriber actually put what they would like covering, but the live is kind of done, so we can do that in the next one. And I think I'll have to see, you'll have to let me know as well if I actually cover it in one of my predictions, if I understand what I need to tippy-toe around that subject. And that was a community post. So where am I getting to right now? And I forgot what I was getting to. Hang on a sec. That he would be out. He wouldn't allow this to affect him. Now, I do get, even though it hit his ear, that he might have had a head and a brain scan, okay? I'm just going to leave that there. I think everything he's been through with the whole court fighting, and right now, he is going to keep going quite strongly, but I think by the end of the year, if he gets elected president, it's going to keep him going a bit further. But at some stage, with all the stress, his health is going to be affected. I'm not saying that he won't be fit for presidency. I'm just saying he might not even show it, right? But he might get, from the minor things like a lot of colds, he might need to take some rest. And I'll leave that one there. Trump is kind of like I know this is a risk, but it's not going to happen to me, and I totally understand that attitude. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got Sagittarius placement and quite a strong sign as well, because I feel that could be behind sort of the energy I get. So he's definitely continued the rally. I also have a prediction, because the global psychic predictions about the rallies. I presume that Kamala, who I'm going to leave in another read, has started her own sort of campaigning, which I said. I also mentioned in the attempted A that this guy was like a patsy, and I described sort of him, but also there's a bit of an inside thing and DS going on, an inside job and a DS going on. Now, I don't know why, but I kind of brushed it off because people in the comments, someone said his parents are registered counselors. But I actually feel that he could have been under emotional manipulation or some kind of energy that made him feel not great to be at home. And so I wonder what they're actually like. And I might actually see if I can find a video. So I don't know if they've been in the news or not. He needs to be careful. And remember, I've been warning about betrayal. And this, what happened there was definitely a bit of an inside job along with everything that I said, because that inside thing was supported. So there was some betrayal from there, and I think he probably knows. I've got a feeling the FBI might be visiting him soon. If they haven't, it depends when this recording goes up. So if they haven't, it is the, what are we, the 29th? It's the 30th, okay? So once I'm able to get this done. So I presume that I feel like the FBI might be visiting him soon to discuss it. I don't know how all this works, to be honest, but there's definitely a risk until the end of November. Either way, and the risk drops a little bit after November if he's not elected. But obviously this is not a reason to not vote for whoever you would like to vote. So with my lack of knowledge in politics and their policies and stuff, I mean, this could be frustrating if I ask questions, but at the same time, it's probably good because I can look it up, but I'll only get what mainstream media wants me to know about both political parties. And it's only through following politics and political parties and the people can you really put the pieces of the puzzles together and see a little bit more, because politics, you never see it clearly anyway. So that makes me really, really unbiased, all right? I don't know their policies. The other thing I get with him is I don't know if he's always stated about God, or, you know, so for example, he might be by God's, I don't know, by God's, I don't know why I'm getting the word submission. I did not, that bullet didn't hit me. So I am thinking that I'm getting the energy that he believes in God, but I'm also God, or he refers to God. So I wonder if he does, beyond just saying, you know, oh God, you know, when something happens, oh God, and people actually don't believe in God, it's just saying it. I think he does. I feel there's something about pushing Christianity as well. And I don't mean that he is going to go down this religious route. No, I think he's moderate, but there's something coming through around that. I also wonder if anyone knows, whoever's like a religious follower and studied Trump and his history, his background, has he ever mentioned that he's kind of into astrology, the stars or anything like that. He is up for quite a bit of a battle, right? Because I think, you know, as much as Kamala might be, you know, I don't know, I'll touch base on her in different read, but he does have, in terms of percentages of rallies, he does have a strong opponent, but I don't mean that they're at the same tier for presidency. But in terms of votes, it's a strong opponent. Probably because younger generation, a new face, a woman, something, you know, those kind of stuff, and everything that's come out about Trump and the alleged things, you know, in terms of justice. Now, in September, there's a few dates where I feel like he could be at a weakness. But this could also mean that he's going to be softened in a certain way. And that softening, if we see it or if people see it, might actually be called to him. Obviously, the target in this elections, I feel, is the stand-byers or the in-betweeners right now. I think they need to be careful of going to certain states where there's a high percentage of followers for one party, but they're going there to campaign to get more votes for their party. I feel I'm going to make that in the global predictions, but something there. So we'll leave that there. And it doesn't mean it's on Trump or Kamala, but it's one of them. Need to be careful. Now, you know that I'm feeling there's going to be a bit of change in this whole thing, and there's more to come out, and there could be definitely come around November time, sudden change. Okay. Whether it's one is leading and it's kind of like they're going in the right direction, then there's a sudden change. But I also am not convinced that Kamala is going to be up for that 4 year. It's 4 years, isn't it? If she wins, that she will win, or will she be the actual person? Is it confirmed it's her? That's what I'm trying to get to. I feel like his son might feel there's a bad connection with Trump. Like there's an absence of DT in his life, and it might be because, you know, he's you know, going to be busy, or he's the ex-president and he might be the president, so he's going to be busy. There's like this absence, I feel, of a father figure for Barron. Okay, and that's not saying that I'm predicting Trump not being here. No, more or less being busy, or a lack of a strong connection. You know, in previous reads, I've mentioned about, in previous Psychic Prediction Global, I mentioned if someone would be a competitor and to take Trump down, it's going to be a woman energy. And I think in my past read, I was getting the vision and Elon Musk coming through. And I don't know why I get Bill Gates for the Democrats. So this is really weird, or I'll have to tap into that. And I know that Trump has, is his vice JD Vance. I only know this now because, you know, I'm getting, with me doing that reading, certain thumbnails come up. So that's something that I think I'm going to ask. Let me ask that right now, because I feel like Trump feels like let's get the cards. So how does Trump feel about JD Vance? Did he choose him, by the way? It should be him that chooses him, right? Or can he choose him, or he can't at the moment, but he can in the future? How does he feel about JD Vance? It's interesting, there's 3 more cards, I didn't see them. Yeah, this is what I'm feeling. I'm not sure that he's actually feeling that JD would be similar to, so I don't think he feels like JD would be similar to what Kamala does for Joe Biden. So she tends to, like, she will speak highly of him. She will respect her role. And she'll always say, I'm speaking on behalf, like right now, she might say in terms of Biden, she might say, I'm speaking on behalf of JB, or, you know, if JB can't be there, she doesn't override her boundaries. But I'm not sure Trump feels that with him. I think he feels like he would be happy to steal the show and step in if anything happens to DT. That's what I feel there. So I don't know. I mean, you all will know that. We'll do an energy check-in on that in maybe a JD Vance read. I just was called to do that. Right, let's see how Trump is feeling as of today. Things will change, all right? And there is going to be a sudden sort of change in something. There's going to be a twist, a little change in something. How is Trump feeling as of now? Oh, okay. He's not feeling the love and I do think he's got strong Sagittarius. So right now he needs patience, but he's not feeling the balance of love. He's not feeling the balanced love in terms of the votes at the moment. And he needs to be patient, and he needs to be more moderate in what he's doing. When he's feeling this, not to be impulsive. How is Trump feeling right now? Remember, this could last for a month, a week. We will do. So here I've got, 1 second while I see where my other tarot cards for when I do clarification is. Here we've got the Two of Swords. Okay. He might have been at a crossroads recently about something. And I think that challenging decision that he has had to come to, he's cleared it in some kind of way. But the only thing that is here is a bit of still feeling like confused and maybe stuck between a rock and a hard place. But he's making a decision and moving on it. This could be in terms of his safety. It could be in terms of anything. When I get that, I get, look, this looks like the rallies. So it could definitely be about safety. And the perception and the judgment of everything going around him and everyone around him, and the eventual outcome that he believes in terms of his own SS, okay? His own SS, the CIA or the FBI, he's got to make a good decision in terms of that. And I think it's been a bit difficult. And yeah, okay. So we can see that is definitely on his mind, okay? It's something on his mind. It's funny, I was thinking, is anything coming out like the Five of Pentacles to tell me about his health? And look at that. I think I asked, you know, exactly as I was thinking. So there might be a little bit, but there's his impulsive energy, which I was saying exactly. There might be a little bit of a health scale. There might be, you know, him feeling a little bit under the weather. And it might just be, you know, when he had the scan or whatever it is, it might be to do with that. But he's still got the passion and raring to go. Current energy of Trump. Too many cards. How is his relationship with his wife, by the way? Or do we not know? Or Four of Cups. Wheel of Fortune. So something he's been very dissatisfied with, and it's funny I mentioned his wife, and it looks like this might be it. Something he's felt quite dissatisfied with in terms of the cards that we've got here seems to be turning now in a better direction for him. Now, obviously, some of you might be able to tie the knot. But here, you know, where I see this, he's been focused a bit these days or this week on negative. So maybe you've seen him in his speech and you're like, he's just not been himself. There's definitely a few days he's not been himself, or it's coming up in the next couple of days. He's you know, a bit of like a pessimism, negative kind of energy, not feeling, you know, not feeling too great about things, but there's a change in that energy. And remember, I mentioned around the 4th. So by the time you see this, I think this is where his energy is going to change and he's going to be feeling a bit better. Might be something around his wife, because I asked about it, and the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I think that's a side note. I think this is to do with the rally and just not feeling himself. Especially if I said, like I said, he had the FBI coming to visit him. Maybe that's been his focus. 3 of Pentacles in reverse and the King of Cups. I definitely think that he thinks there's someone on his team that he might not be able to work with. Remember, I said he needs to really, really focus on being careful in terms of betrayal. And it's not going to be easy for him to ask for help, but he does need to ask for help to really win this. He also needs to come from a more humble, nurturing point. Now, he might start to win that around September as he's weakened a little bit. I do want to ask if the court's proceedings and if this attempted A has made him feel a bit more humble, and there's energy moving through me right now. Sorry, I don't know why. But I don't feel it has, so I'm going to wait until the next read to feel that. I definitely think that he does think there's somebody as an insider, and he needs to keep his emotions grounded. He probably needs to approach things, like I mentioned, from a little bit more of a loving kind of perspective. He also needs to listen, okay? Now, one of the things is the presidency is pushing an agenda, but he needs to be careful about pushing his own agenda and not trusting certain people, where then there might be an ego clash. I also think in the last one I mentioned about Russia, didn't I? So I do think there's going to be secret discussions there, or there might be, and it's interesting because I said, can you remember I said there's a larger organization involved, and there's definitely a lead from Russia in that, okay? Disclaimer, this is allegedly for entertainment purposes only. So I think he might be, or they might be as well, trying to test the waters here, right? And I will say in Kamala's read that I'm not sure how they're going to take her, which I think then is a security risk for the US. But I think she's sharp enough to see someone, you know, kind of twist her. But I think she's more readable in terms of who she likes and who she doesn't. But there's one good point about her, which I'll go into in the next read. So that's how he's feeling. Should we pull? Do you want to pull more cards? How is he feeling? What should we ask? How is he feeling? How is he feeling? How is he feeling towards Kamala, right? Towards, now that it's Kamala. Let's Let's ask that question. I mean, all this feeling will affect, like it's connected to Kamala, obviously, because that's the competitor. How is he feeling? Page of Wands, he's feeling a bit more not as strong. He's still got the motivation, but you know when you feel like, oops, I'm up against something a bit strong, it kind of makes you feel a bit, and she might not be, right? But he's still, instead of feeling like grandiose, he maybe feels like a smaller size. So let's say we're talking Starbucks here, and I don't drink from Starbucks, but they've got Vente as the large, and then they've got Grande as the medium, and then they've got Tall as the small, haven't they? So he was feeling Vente maybe, but not right now. He's probably feeling a little bit more like a Tall and a Grande. But what he does feel is that communication and innovation from even what he's past communication has been needs to be different. It needs to be creative. It needs to be innovative. So if he starts saying some new things or bringing up some new kind of like short, I don't want to say advertisements, but like to the point kind of statements, bullets, bullet points kind of stuff, that's where it's coming from. Now this turned into the side, which means that he is not saying everything he feels. He's not saying everything. I'm getting that's in his pocket, okay, right now. It's a bit disclosed, okay? There's things that were not, how he's actually portraying himself is not how he feels. And we've not seen every trick up his sleeve. When I say trick up his sleeve, I don't mean it's bad tricks, but you know, everything that he wants to do to make sure he wins the presidency, or whatever kind of thing that could mean, okay? Look at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Two of Wands, which is the plan to try and move forward. But I also get here is the plan of an international country or something. And it's interesting, I mentioned Russia, right? I'm going to split the deck. We've got the Four of Pentacles. He's holding on. He's not going to shift. He is holding on. And I feel like he's also holding on to security of his country with this message. All right, let's get two more cards. We've got the Two of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, two more cards, and then we'll wrap this up. I think I've covered what I was supposed to. I felt like there was so much. Three of Cups and the Six of Cups. I think she brings some kind of, do you know what else I'm getting? But I'll say it in the Kamala Harris, hopefully I won't forget. I don't know why she brings up some kind of past memory for him. And this could be, there's a past life connection in some way, but she does bring up some kind of past memory or past something, and it could be, you know, even from where he grew up, or there's something there around. It could even be possibly of who is connected in the game, or you know, sort of in the parties. But there's something there that he she brings that up, and I think that's also what we're not seeing. I feel like come 4th of August, like look, between 3rd and the 6th, I think he's definitely going to be feeling better. I'm asking for now, but I'm still getting those dates. He's going to be feeling more with it, celebratory. He could be celebrating something during this time as well. It could be to do with his son, his family. He could be spending the time with his family. There's definitely around these dates, and especially the 4th. I keep feeling the 4th is such a good day for him. But I'd look out for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And he's going to be feeling good. I don't know if it could even be someone's birthday that he knows. I don't know why this is coming through in terms of how he feels to Camilla, but he does feel like around these dates, he's feeling a bit stronger. He's feeling like he's rallying more of the votes, and there could potentially be something to, you know, put his glass up to cheers. But it does still need the hard work and dedication. It's not the final cheer yet. It's not the final, like, he's not out of, I don't need to work so hard anymore. No, he is focused and he is feeling a lot better. He will be taking a couple of hours or a day somewhere here. There is some kind of celebratory energy, and then he's back to full focus. And I would say that this is by the 7th and 8th of August. It's interesting because what is like the 4th of August? What day is that? Is that near to a weekend? I know presidency doesn't necessarily mean, yeah, so 3rd, 4th is Saturday, Sunday, Monday is the 5th, and 7 and 8th we're back at is Wednesday, Thursday. So very interesting that is. I think this has been a good reading, everyone. If you enjoy these readings, please also, is this a live premiere? I don't think I'll be putting this up for members only first, but I'll see. If it is, it will be more or less just ahead. But I would look out for whether you want to join any membership or Patreon. And also when we do Kamala, let me know if you want me to look at JD Vance as well. It's interesting to see if Kamala will actually, who she will endorse, the global psychic predictions, and then also another energy check-in as we go along the way with other questions. So make sure if you are on the live premiere, we can all chat. But at the same time, and that's why I have it for subscribers, because I know that we all respect each other's opinions on such sensitive stuff. Drop me an emoji or a hello in the comments. It helps the video after the live. Have a comment, and the more there is, it pushes it out in the algorithm with the content. So take care, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe you can drop some notes of what, maybe there's some validation here on anything I've mentioned, and we can definitely do another check-in. And if you want another check-in in a week's time, let's do that, and see how things go. All right, stay blessed, and I appreciate you all. Bye for now.